Hello, everybody. I'm going to look at that camera. I'm at John Brown's place again. Hello. And he's just filmed his video, which you can check out, about the new Peavey 6505 Synergy module, which is made by Peavey. It's not just officially licensed, it's actually a Peavey product. So we're going to check it out compared to the real deal. Well, that's the bit where the intro kind of comes in, so I've got to freeze because it's stupid. But that's YouTube for you. So, this, on my part, is not a sponsored video. I've not been given this. I've not been paid to do anything. This isn't mine. This is Brown's. I'm just having a bit of fun and checking this out because I can. But on our channel, we tend to do more nerdy stuff, more deep dives. Today, I'm just taking the opportunity to put up Brown's 5150, which I've got a 5152, but this one is here, up against the 6505, and we'll see how it does. In front of both, we have the Slam Your Eye all-pedal Slam Your Eye and the Rev G8 gate, which go into the front of the 6505 Synergy module. But when that's bypassed, this is set using the Syn 1 housing to go straight true bypass into the front of the real amp. Now, some people say, oh, the 5150 block letter signature and 6505 are all different. They are not. You will find if you put 10 of the same model of amp back to back, they will sound a little different because of component tolerances. And some people think that the old valves were better than the new valves. They might be, but in terms of straight comparison, these are going to be pretty close. If I had 10 5150 Mark 1s, 6505 non-plus, they should all be pretty much within spec. But yeah, this is the 6505 non-plus, so not the 5152. This is based on the original design. And so this is running into the power section of said 5150. And that's going into this oversized Mesa cab with the old Mesa V30s, into a good old trusty SM57 and the most ridiculous mic for an amp that you could possibly think of. It's my Lewitt 1040, which is the $3,000 valve mic, which is complete overkill. Brown's got one in the mail, but for now we use my one. And yeah, it's in figure 8 mode, so it gets a bit more chugga. And yeah, combined with the SM57, it sounds absolutely monstrous. And I'm playing Brown's old Miner's 7-string because all of his other guitars are still on the tour bus, so to speak. And that's right. Well, they've just arrived back from tour, right?
Yeah.
So they're not.
Left them all.
So they're not here.
Yeah.
But that's fine. This is an incredible guitar. I usually play 6 strings. I play like an absolute child on a 7, but I'm going to try. I mean, I should get into 7 strings anyway for the stuff I've been writing. So, that's enough talking from me. Hopefully I've cut a couple of demos in here so that you don't all get bored to death. Without further ado, green channel on here on crunch mode, green channel on here on crunch mode. The Syn 1 version, or the Synergy version, doesn't have a clean channel because, let's be honest, the original 5150 didn't have a clean channel anyway, even though it said it did. And it's got 2 channels on here, both of which you can switch between the green channel and the red channel. Which means you can have 2 red channels or 2 green channels, depending on how you want to do it. Maybe you want a lower gain red channel for your rhythm and a higher gain red channel for your leads, or vice versa. You couldn't do that on the original 5150, so that's a nice plus. Now, let's check this out. pretty close. Okay, now I'm in tune, but the point should stand that these are pretty close. I think that the full valve head has a tiny little bit more low end on the amp setting rather than the Synergy setting, both on the Green Crunch channel. And I've really had to back down the treble on the 6505. In fact, the bright switch is in. Let's try it without the bright switch and see if that makes all the difference. Yeah, there's the difference. Yeah, without the bright switch, they're even closer. I would say that there's a tiny little bit more modern top end, a bit more what I would call like sandiness or grit in the module rather than in the 5150, but that could just be a component drift in the 5150. I mean, they've not made them like this in probably going on 25 years at this point. So all the components in here, they're not new. So if I could go back in time and get this exact same amp brand new and compare them, you might find the exact same differences between this amp and itself 25 years ago. So we're really getting into the weeds here with comparisons. So let's go red channel. I mean, this one, the gain goes from like 5 to 2 because there's an extra gain stage at the very least, if not 2 more gain stages on the red channel, and so it gets very gainy very quickly. Now let's try, firstly, the Synergy module and then the real amp. Pretty close, let's be honest. They're, you know, in a mix, I think you'd struggle to tell them apart. The extra bit of high end, you'd probably be notching out with an EQ anyway in a mix because nobody likes 4K. Do we know how much these are going to cost?
I think they're like $400 for the module.
Right, so the module's about $400. The Syn one is roughly the same, about $400, $500, I think.
Yeah, I think it's around that price as well, yeah.
Yeah. But the Syn 1 is then a vessel for any other modules that you would like, because there's like Soldano ones, Bogner ones. There's a 2C Plus one, which I don't think is official Mesa, but it exists. There's a 800. There's all sorts of stuff for the Synergy platform, which I could either run live into an amp, like a power amp section and a cab, or run straight out into an audio interface and do things that way. And so, I mean, you can't find a 5150 for less than at least $1,000 these days since Eddie Van Halen is no longer with us. And so the price of these things just went a bit mental. There's now the iconic version, and there's a few variations you can get of the real amp. But then, if you want to record with them at home, you have to get a load box, or not have it as loud as you would need it to be to get that sound. Whereas with the Syn 1, you don't need that. You can literally just go straight in. There's even a sag control, which will, if you add a little bit of it in, emulate how the power section has a bit of give. You probably wouldn't turn this up too high with something like a 6505, 5150. If you were using something more like a vintage Fender style module or something, you might turn that up a bit higher. Very much depends on the kind of response you want from the module that you've chosen. But yeah, like I said at the start, this isn't a sponsored video. This is just me playing around with a new toy that isn't mine. So yeah, if you want to go and get one, go get one. I've got a couple of affiliate links in the description from stores that might have these. If they do, I'll put that in the description below. So yeah, anything that you guys buy off any of the affiliate links that we have helps the channel out and helps me to make more videos like this. Helps me to put gas in the tank to come and see Brown and make videos with him. Helps me to go and put gas in the tank to go and do all the cool stuff that you guys get to see. So thank you, everybody. Thanks to the patrons on Patreon. Thanks to Brown for letting me waste his time with making disgusting guitar playing in his studio. And thanks, everybody, for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.